Want the best gaming experience on your Windows PC? It all starts with a solid foundation. That means keeping your system and drivers up to date. Think of it like this. You wouldn't run a marathon with worn-out shoes, right? First, make sure your Windows is fully updated. Updates often include performance improvements specifically designed for gaming, plus they patch security holes, keeping your system safe. Next up are your graphics drivers. These are the software that allows your computer to communicate with your graphics card. Outdated drivers can lead to lag, glitches, and crashes. For NVIDIA users, GeForce Experience makes updating drivers a breeze. AMD users head over to AMD Radeon software for the latest and greatest. By keeping your system and drivers updated, you're laying the groundwork for a smooth, enjoyable gaming experience. Remember, a little maintenance goes a long way. Windows has some built-in tricks to boost your gaming performance. One of them is called Game Mode. Think of it as a secret weapon that prioritizes gaming when you need it most. It allocates more system resources to your game, preventing pesky interruptions from things like Windows Update. No more unexpected downloads in the middle of a crucial match. Next, let's fine-tune your power settings. You want your system firing on all cylinders, right? That's where the high-performance power plan comes in. This setting tells your computer to prioritize performance over power saving. It ensures your components are running at their peak potential. While you're at it, dive a bit deeper into the advanced power settings. Here you can fine-tune things like PCI Express, processor power management, and USB selective suspend. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for your setup. Ever wonder how your games communicate with your computer's hardware? That's where DirectX comes in. It's like a translator, ensuring smooth communication between your games and your system. An outdated DirectX can cause all sorts of issues, from poor performance to games not running at all. The good news is, checking your DirectX version is easy. Just type DAXDIAG in the Windows search bar and hit enter. If you're running an older version, head over to the Microsoft website and grab the latest DirectX update. It's a quick and easy way to potentially boost your gaming performance. Time to dive into the heart of your gaming rig, the graphics card. Both NVIDIA and AMD offer control panels packed with optimization options. Let's unlock their full potential. For NVIDIA users, G-Sync is your new best friend. It synchronizes your monitor's refresh rate with your graphics card's output, eliminating screen tearing for buttery smooth visuals. In the NVIDIA control panel, set the power management mode to prefer maximum performance to ensure your GPU is always ready for action. And don't forget to adjust texture filtering quality to high performance for sharper, more detailed textures. AMD users, FreeSync is your equivalent to G-Sync, providing that same tier-free gaming experience. Head into AMD Radeon settings and make sure it's enabled. While you're there, turn off power efficiency to ensure your graphics card is always running at its full potential. Just like with NVIDIA, crank up the texture filtering quality to performance for the best visual experience. Remember, these are just a few of the many options available. Take some time to explore the control panel and experiment with different settings to find what works best for your games and hardware. Now that we've optimized your system and graphics card, let's fine-tune your in-game settings for the optimal balance between visual fidelity and performance. First up, resolution. Higher resolutions mean more pixels and more detail, but they also demand more from your hardware. Start by matching the resolution in-game to your monitor's native resolution. This ensures you're getting the sharpest image without unnecessarily taxing your system. Next, let's talk texture quality. Textures are the images that cover three-dimensional models in games, making them look realistic. Higher texture quality generally requires more VRAM, the dedicated memory on your graphics card. If you're noticing stuttering or low frame rates, try lowering the texture quality a notch or two. Shadows can also be a resource hog. Experiment with different shadow quality settings to find a good balance between visual detail and performance. And don't be afraid to turn off resource-intensive features like motion blur entirely. Finally, adjust the draw distance, which determines how far you can see in the game world. Lowering it can improve performance, especially in open-world games. Remember, finding the perfect in-game settings is a balancing act. Experiment with different combinations to find the sweet spot that gives you the best visual experience without sacrificing smooth gameplay. Section 6. System housekeeping, background processes and storage. Imagine trying to game while your computer is busy doing a million other things in the background. Not ideal, right? That's why it's important to do a bit of system housekeeping to free up resources and ensure your game gets the attention it deserves. First, let's tackle background processes. These are programs that run in the background, often without you even realizing it. While some are essential, others can be resource hogs. Open up Task Manager by pressing Ctrl, Shift and Escape and take a look at the Processes tab. Close any unnecessary applications that might be eating up your precious RAM and CPU cycles. Next, let's optimize your storage. If you're still running your games off a traditional hard disk drive, consider upgrading to a solid-state drive. SSDs are significantly faster than HDDs, resulting in drastically reduced loading times and a snappier overall system. If you're already using an SSD, make sure trim is enabled. This feature helps your SSD maintain optimal performance over time. And if you're still rocking an HDD, a regular defragmentation can help keep things running smoothly. Section 7. Visual fidelity versus performance. Windows settings. Windows is packed with visual effects that make it look sleek and modern. However, these effects can also put a strain on your system, especially during demanding games. Let's fine-tune some Windows settings to prioritize performance without sacrificing too much visual flair. Head over to the Performance options by searching for it in the Windows search bar. In the Visual Effects tab, you'll find a list of options that control everything from window animations to shadow effects. For the best gaming performance, select Adjust for Best Performance. This will disable most of the non-essential visual effects, freeing up system resources for your games. If you're not a fan of the bare-bones look, you can selectively enable certain effects. Section 8. Unlocking CPU power, core parking and GPU scheduling. Your CPU or processor is the brain of your computer, responsible for executing instructions and calculations. Modern CPUs often have multiple cores, allowing them to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. However, sometimes Windows doesn't utilize all available cores effectively, especially during gaming. That's where disabling core parking comes in. Core parking is a power-saving feature that puts unused CPU cores to sleep. While this is great for saving battery life on laptops, it can hinder gaming performance. Tools like Park Control allow you to disable core parking, ensuring all your CPU cores are awake and ready for action when you launch your favorite game. Another way to potentially boost performance is by enabling hardware-accelerated GPU scheduling. This feature allows your graphics card to manage its own scheduling more efficiently, potentially improving performance and reducing latency. You can find this setting in Windows Display Settings, usually under the Graphics Settings section. Section 9. Advanced tweaking. Tread carefully. For those seeking the absolute bleeding edge of performance, there are a few advanced optimizations you can explore. However, proceed with caution, as these tweaks can potentially impact your system's stability and security. One such tweak is disabling memory integrity, a security feature that prevents malicious code from injecting itself into critical system processes. While enabling memory integrity is generally recommended for security reasons, disabling it can potentially improve gaming performance in some cases. Another advanced tweak involves adjusting settings in the Windows registry. a database that stores configuration settings for Windows and many applications. However, modifying the registry incorrectly can lead to system instability, so proceed with extreme caution and only if you know what you're doing. Finally, tools like MSI Afterburner offer granular control over GPU overclocking and fan control. Overclocking involves increasing the clock speed of your GPU beyond its factory settings, potentially squeezing out a few extra frames per second. However, overclocking generates more heat and can shorten the lifespan of your graphics card if not done correctly. Always overclock gradually and monitor temperatures closely to avoid damaging your hardware. Remember, these advanced optimizations are not for the faint of heart. Always back up your system before making any significant changes and proceed with caution. It's often best to leave these tweaks to experienced users.